all gas, no brakes, baby, let them hoes sleep. Body on 10, make your girl OD. I get in my way, never out of my lane. Feel like you the one and I'm on one. So what it's gonna be? Baby, squad up, we finna go deep. Riding on a team, got what you need. Baby, won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get lonely. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down, when I hit the town, you should lie on me. Keep your minds on me. On try, baby, I think you should side with me. Stay solid one time if you lie with me. Just promise you never lie to me. Keep the moves on tuck. I know it's all love. Everything good. Keep the vibes on crush. I know it's all good. Know it's all love. Know it's all love. I've been feeling like a man lately. Can't nobody do it like I can daily. Baddest in the land. Body turn your nigga to a failure. I made it where I'm at on my own. Had a couple blocks in the road, but I get to the bag on the low. I be counting stacks while they grow, yeah, you know me. Baby, won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get lonely. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down, when I come in town, you should slide on me. Keep your minds on me. On try, baby, I think you should side with me. Stay solid one time if you lie with me. Just promise you never lie to me. Keep the moves on tuck. I know it's all love. Everything good. Keep the vibes on crush. I know it's all good. Know it's all love. Know it's all love.
NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And for Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, close fists, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airways, we talk about it. Brand new like the 10th place, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Good morning to you. Welcome back. Let's get straight into it. I hope that the last 24 hours have been good for you. On today's show, I want to talk about humans worse than COVID. I've got more than 3 examples of humans acting way worse than COVID. There are some humans whose company I would not care for. In fact, if I had a choice, I would choose COVID over the company of these human beings. Generally speaking, humans are far worse than COVID. COVID just wants to replicate. Humans are God's little selfish creatures with multiple agendas. You never know what's going on. Never can tell. With COVID, you know what to expect. Humans worse than COVID. At the top of that list this week is Jussie Smollett, who was found guilty of falsely reporting a hate crime. Apparently, he paid 2 black men to fake beat him up. And he alleged that he was the victim of some type of like hate crime based upon his sexual orientation. And I'm like, are people still doing that? Really? People still getting beat up because they're gay? It never should have went down. And what will be, if any, will there be any impact, do you think, on the larger community, right? Like the next time a gay black man in Chicago claims that they were the victim of a hate crime, are people going to pay attention? That kind of thing. And is Jussie Smollett, is he doing anything right now? Is he on Netflix? I know he made it big with that Fox show. Was it Empire? I believe it was. He made it big with that Fox show, but I don't know what he's doing. He's been acting for a long time. Has he been acting since? When I look on his Wikipedia page, I don't see ish after 2017. And you know, the Trumpsters, man, oh my God. I'm not listening to conservative radio today. I have no plans on that because I like me, right? I like my brain. I think highly of myself, so I don't want to listen to that shit today. Excuse my language. Lord, forgive me for my brash delivery. But if I did watch it, I already know what they're talking about. They're talking about this fool right here. Oh, yeah, Jussie, man. Ooh, Jussie is big news. He's big business for conservative media because they'll use his case and be like, see, look at what the left is doing. Making up these claims. He's an actor. That means you act in Hollywood. Everybody in Hollywood is a leftist. Told you it's the cancel culture. They was trying to cancel Trump. All the ish just going on in Chicago, all the unsolved murders. And Chicago investigators and prosecutors had to spend their time on this case because this black man right here wasn't getting enough attention from mommy. He wasn't getting enough attention, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the motivation was. Or maybe he was like, damn, Empire's ending. How am I going to be relevant? I know, right? Good morning to you. It's a damn shame. What's up, Nate and the Choppers? Good morning to the Biden sexuals of the Chop Shop. Go get your boosters, bitches. Omicron is going to get you. Bunky is hilarious, man. Bunky is hilarious. Before we get too far into the show, I want to remind you that our good friends over at Renew Community Church have a brand new live stream series. You can watch it on Facebook or on YouTube. On Facebook, Cincy Renew. On YouTube, Renew Community Church live stream. Here's the title: Positive thinking and affirmations don't work unless ... Learn what really works to make you happy and joyful and have fun in 2022. Again, from my viewpoint, what I see them doing is creating circumstances in which you can learn about yourself. I mean, that's the number one relationship you should have, is with yourself. With yourself first, God second, in that order. Woohoo! Strike that from the record. What did he just say? What did he say? What does he say? Number one, at the top of the list, humans worse than COVID this week is Jussie Smollett for this ridiculous waste of time. Number one, does anybody really care about homosexual and heterosexual anymore? It just seems like we way beyond that. Okay. What is you doing, bruh? You supposed to be reading scripts. Anybody got a script for me? You're supposed to be reading scripts, Jussie. I watched the press conference with his attorneys afterward. They said that they are confident that on appeal it's going to be overturned, and it just might be. I believe it was 6 charges. He got complete. He found guilty. He was found guilty in 5 of them. And apparently Black Lives Matter LA is still standing with Jussie Smollett despite his hoax hate crime. Hoax hate crime. Oh my God. Damn, Jussie. Now, Jussie, one of them Negroes that you already know, our sister would have had to leave him where he was. Because this motherfucker would have been lighting flares. Like, this is the Underground Railroad. We don't do no flares. But I need to see. You can't save everybody. Jussie would have to stay. You have to stay, bro. Find your own way out, Jussie. Because he would wreck. He's like Gilligan, Black Gilligan. Like a very own Gilligan. But Black Lives Matter LA released a statement saying, so, quote, let's be clear. We love everybody in our community. We can never believe police, especially the CPD, over Jussie Smollett, a Black man who has been courageously present, visible, and vocal in the struggle for Black freedom. That might all be true, but he paid 2 Black men. They testified. It's over with. No more charades. He paid this. It never made sense. It was always corny. Nobody really believed this story from the very beginning. I'm not the only one that was this skeptical. You were skeptical too. Nobody believed this. Oh, wait a minute. People doing that these days? Just rolling up on you, and they try to make it seem like the Trumpsters, right? It was the Trumpsters, and they're against Black people, right? Just big mistake, Jussie. And these 2 Black men, these 2 brothers, they testified saying that Jussie, they did like a whole, like, Hollywood set routine where they was fake fighting and fake blows. Okay, so I'm gonna go like this, and your head has to snap back. Right? You play these motherfuckers. Come on, Jussie. How did you think this wasn't you? Who do you think you are? You're not like the people behind like this is a pewter shape. You're not like the folks that assassinated JFK. You don't have those kind of cover-up abilities. What's wrong with you, bro? You're not like the people behind the scams that led to the war on terror, to protect the war on terror. We know that 911 was an inside job. Those people are on a different level with their schemes. That's Illuminati level. You out here with these little baby nursery rhymes level talking about they called me gay. Sure they did. Best acting he ever did. Kind of not really. So apparently Jussie Smollett gave them a $100 bill to buy supplies. Remember, they had gasoline. They put a noose around his neck. I'm like, in Chicago? I'm not even in Chicago. I'm like, that's the face you make when you hear some dumb What time is it? We hear some dumb ish. We got 5 more minutes. And your face is like, that don't even make no sense. They had a gasoline and a noose. What were they gonna do? Hang you, then light you on fire? Thanks, Jussie. I've never met a Jussie before. Jussie. That's different. So this man put a noose around his own neck. Oh my God. If that's not symbolism on some levels about our culture, I don't know what is. This black man paid to put a noose on his own neck. On his own neck. Humans worse than COVID. Jussie Smollett. And then I'm watching like the news reports of this, right? Who are the people surrounding him, like family and friends? By the complexion of the skin, that like it might be his mama and his sister and them, his family and them. But when he was walking out the courtroom, they had him surrounded like he was the damn president. Is that the Secret Service? They was moving like a unit. They must have practiced that joint right then, because when they had him completely, he was like in his own little bubble of people. And I'm like, why are they doing all this? So they can't take photographs? Negro, we know what you look like. We got plenty of photographs. The fuck is wrong with black people these days, man? Get your mama in them. But it's good to know that Black Lives Matter LA is standing by Jussie Smollett. Thanks, Jussie. Thanks, Gilligan. There was an episode, man, where a boat washed up on the island of the castaways, going back to that series, Gilligan Islands, right? If you don't know the plot of it, let me share it with you, because it might be being lost on some of our younger listeners, or just people that didn't watch that show. So basically, you had 7 different individuals, nobody black, and they went on a cruise. You know, it's supposed to be a 3-hour cruise, just 3 hours. And they were going to go, just sightsee and do whatever people do. Just motley crew of people that never knew each other. One was a movie star, one was a professor. You had some rich people. You had like a sweet little innocent girl. And then you had the skipper. In his first hand, his name was Little Buddy. Well, his name was Gilligan, but he called him Little Buddy, right? And they get shipwrecked on an island, and it takes years and years and years for them to find them. And every episode, it would always had a similar theme, where either the professor or through just the randomness of the universe, they would have an opportunity to get off the island. And every single episode, Gilligan would do something dumb and destroy their chances of getting off the island. So I remember on one episode, a boat just washed up on the shore of the island. And so the professor and them, they started pulling up supplies and doing different stuff. For some reason, they left Gilligan in charge overnight or something like this. This fool ended up pushing the boat back out to sea, and it wrecked their chances from getting off the island. So when I say Gilligan moment, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that shoot themselves in the foot, that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Here we are about to get saved, and your dumb ass, we got one flare left. We got one flare. Everybody knows we got one flare. This fool, instead of shooting a flare into the air when there's a passing by helicopter, this fool shoots it into the ocean. There go our chances. That's Jussie Smollett this morning. He did this to himself. Human worse than COVID. I give you Exhibit A. Let me talk about Exhibit B here for a second. Then I want to get your comments. Have you been paying attention to this reporting about what's happening with Hertz rental car? Have you ever rented a car before? Rented a car before? Man, this story, they've been reporting on this for some time now. A lot of Hertz rental car customers are claiming that they were arrested, or in some cases even put in jail, and in one case held at gunpoint after false theft reports. So apparently somebody or somebodies at Hertz rental car started arbitrarily reporting cars as stolen, right, to local authorities. So I guess it's kind of like a situation where You're supposed to bring the car back on Monday. We ain't seen your ass in a month. We've got no choice. We've called you, we texted you, we emailed you, we called your reference, we hit the credit people. We have not seen our vehicle. We are forced to now let the authorities know that we think it's been stolen. We get it. If that's the scenario, I don't think there's any consumers out there, anybody, we're all reasonable people. We understand it. But can you imagine you rent a car and you're just tooling around wherever you're renting a car at? Typically, when people rent cars, it means that they're like traveling for work or for pleasure or for family or something like that. So you might be in a city or a town, where you're not really familiar, and the boys roll up on you. And you're like, what the hell? The boys? Why is the boys behind me? Why are the boys behind me? You ever had that feeling like, what the fuck do they want now? It's 3:30. It's 8:31. I can curse now because if kids are listening to me, you're a bad kid. Take your bad ass to school. Turn off the Nathan Ivey Show and get your nose in those books. You're probably smoking and drinking and sexing. You know your ass should be in school. All Cincinnati public school kids should be in school by 8:31. So we can do whatever we want. Because so you imagine that. You get pulled over. You ever been in that situation before and you like, these Negroes tripping. I hope they ain't tripping. You ever been there before? You pissed already. Because like you're anticipating dumbish. You sitting there like, well, on some part you like, I hope you ain't tripping because I ain't got no warrants, right? Ain't got no warrants. Everything's legal. And we got insurance. Now what you gonna say to me, Mr. Policeman, right? Can I see registration? He already asked you because the cars have been reported stolen by Hertz rental car and you driving in it. You know the police gonna deal with that. They're gonna act like it's a damn stolen horse. I don't see what the big deal is. I mean, it's just a car, but that's what police are for, to protect property. But anyway, so that's what was happening with people all over the country. They got stopped by police after they were renting a vehicle. Everything was honest. They weren't trying to steal it. They had paid for it. In some cases, they got it from insurance companies. But for whatever reasons, Hertz rental car, somebody had reported it as stolen. In these days and times, that could end deadly, especially with melanated people. When melanated people get pulled over by white police officers, it's different. When melanated people get pulled over by police, period, black and white, it's just a different circumstance. I mean, things can go left real quick, and we've seen it so many times before. That is super dangerous. In one instance, I watched the video this morning. This woman down in Texas, you can see in her face, she beside herself. She don't know what to deal with. And then civilians, average, everyday, honest people, they ain't never been arrested before. They don't know what that's like to be in the back of a car. You got to go to whatever the lockup facility is. You got to deal with them damn idiots down there, wherever they are. It's idiots in every jail. Talking the stupidest shit you ever heard in your life. And you like, if you all that, what the fuck is you doing down here? You the man in the JC. If you don't sit your ass down and pass me one of these stale ass bologna sandwiches, I can try to keep my weight up. Most people don't want to deal with that. That'll scare the hell out of people. It was so interesting. I was watching this video this morning on CBS News, one of the rare times I watch network television. I'm glad I did. And they were talking with a white female, married with kids, honest. You know what I'm saying? Super honest, probably God-fearing, pay her taxes twice, the whole 9 yards. She was traumatized. I keep dreaming about the police. I keep dreaming about the police, she said. Oh, I can't sleep. I'm wondering if the police are going to come. And I'm thinking to myself, fuck you think we feel? You feel like that and you're a white woman. Let's keep it 100. Could you imagine how we feel? Oh my God. I mean, give it some props to black folks, man. Just the courage that we have every single day just to get out of bed and deal with this world that we got to deal with. It's just so funny, man. I was talking with the wifey and she inspired these flows. I give all credit where credit is due. And it's really interesting because, if you look at these recent, high profile incidences of gun violence, in particular the schools, right? It was reported this morning that a lot of students in the greater Cincinnati or not a lot, some students in the greater Cincinnati area have been arrested. Um, and all of the schools that these kids went to are like suburban ritzy schools. And it's like, why is it the students at these particular schools just flipping out and want to have kill lists and kill people, right? And but it's the black students that's overly disciplined. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like, what the hell is going on here? You know what I'm saying? On the surface, you got everything going for you. You're 16, you're 15, you're white in many cases, coming from a good family, living in a big good zip code. What in the hell is going on? I don't know. That's a sidebar. We might get back to that. Humans worse than COVID, though. That young man and his family worse than COVID. COVID never went to a school and shot up a lot of people. COVID never did that. COVID never went to the schools and shot up a lot of people. COVID don't sell no dope. COVID don't redline neighborhoods. COVID don't do any of this, right? Humans worse than COVID. But have you heard this story about Hertz rental car? I just felt like, wow, man. Now dozens of customers are alleging that they were falsely arrested. And Hertz with a Z, they put out a statement in which they said, yeah, the vast majority of times that we reported vehicles stolen, they actually were stolen. And I start thinking to myself, like, what the freak is going on with your internal processes where people who have honestly used your product, which is renting your car, are now being pulled over because that particular car is being reported stolen. That's super scary. Super scary, man. You have no idea. You just driving, minding your business. The boys are behind you. You getting those feelings of anxiety. Person comes walking up on the left side. You see the other one on the right side. They doing that thing they do. They doing that thing they do. They doing that thing they do around the car. And you sitting there like, damn, was I driving too fast? You looking like, was my speedometer broken? Or I must have a taillight out. Or maybe it's because I'm black, right? Whatever the case may be, that ish will scare the hell out of you. The hell out of you. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. That's a magical code. If you dial those digits, you can amplify your thoughts in real time. All I would ask is that you open your mind before you open your mouth. That's it. That's it. Before I get too deep, I got to get to the choppers.
Get to the choppers!
Sharp Rice, TGIF, Nate and the choppers. John, #Glorious. He writes good morning. And Ray writes good risings all. And to my people on the TuneIn app, good morning to you as well. I appreciate you being here. Good morning, Good morning. Charles writes, their stock may take a hit from this. Might be time to buy some Hertz stock. Is that right? He says it's time to buy some Hertz stock. Could be. Look at you keeping us up on game. I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. Keeping us up on game. I'm talking about humans worse than COVID. Let me set the table here. So we talked about Jussie Smollett. Do you think that his actions will have any lingering effect in any kind of negative way? Or is this just an isolated incident that people will talk about, but nobody's really going to hold on to this? And I mean it like, let's say the next gay person, black male gay person comes forward and says, I was the victim of a hate crime. Will people be like, you're just on some Jussie type ish? Knock it off. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but I throw it out to you nonetheless. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Jay Coop writes, thank God I'm in the Milan show that ID along with everything. I didn't get locked up. Thank goodness. A 27-year-old threatened to shoot up his school. Really, where at? I just know in the Cincinnati area, there were like at least three students from three different schools. None of them were CPS schools, all suburban schools that, apparently, I mean, just think about all these teachers have to deal with, man, these administrators. Now you got to deal with the threat of somebody coming in with a damn gun. Oh my God. On top of everything else. And you're not getting paid enough. On top of everything else, you ain't even getting the bag. Oh my God. It's just some things I'm just not willing to do. To be honest with you. I ain't doing it. Somebody else can do that. If you want to say your thoughts this morning, 513-873-7134. Sidebars. I was watching CBS News this morning. They reported on an interview that Charlemagne the God did. He sat down, he was the first person to sit down with Travis Scott. And I thought, wow, that's big. That's a changing of the guard right there, where you have non-traditional or new media that's scooping legacy media, right? And now legacy media is reporting on what non or new media is doing. I love it. I'm all about that. I love it. Keep it up, Charlemagne. And all the other creators out there in that space. I love it. Keep it up. Good morning to you. Again, 513-873-7134. Again, I've got about 5 of these human worse than COVID examples. I'm going to run through the list and then I'll circle back around and we can have conversations about any individual topic or all of them. Okay. But in general, humans worse than COVID today. Man, I hate seeing these kind of stories, man. These kind of stories really irk me. They really do. But that's not the way I really want to approach it. The way I want to approach it is I saw a movie on Netflix once that was just so beautifully well done. And it was just so emotional that I was caught up in my feelings. And I want to confess that to you. I was 100% caught up in my feelings when I first saw this movie, because I have a daughter. And when you have children, when you see things happening to other people's children, even fictionally, it makes you think about your children. And that's when the emotion comes in. But I watched a movie many years ago called The Lovely Bones. Anybody seen that before? The Lovely Bones. You ever seen that movie before? The Lovely Bones. Hold that thought, because we've got a call coming in and I'll come right back to it. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, comrade.
Good morning, brother. Welcome.
Thank you. I got an example of humans worse than COVID.
I like to hear it.
Hey, these Hamilton County teenagers. You see, like, the murder rate for Hamilton County teenagers is the highest it's ever been. They're taking out people quicker than COVID. Did you see that article in the Inquirer?
I did not. No. I'm looking for it right now.
Check it out. They showed it's like 2 different articles too. One, they actually have the discussion about how the Hamilton County teenage murder rate, as far as them being perpetrators, has skyrocketed. Then they have an article, all the pictures of every person killed in Hamilton County by a teenager. You want to talk about worse than COVID? They're taking you out quicker than COVID. COVID will have you suffer for a little while, but these Hamilton County teenagers, man, they'll kill you quicker than COVID. That's all I got this morning. Have a great weekend.
All right, appreciate the call. So you're saying the Hamilton County teenagers will kill you quicker than COVID. Okay. I hear you, brother. I'm not sure if I agree with that, but I understand. Let me see here. I'm looking at something that's caught my eye real quick. Okay. Interesting. Okay, I hear you. Man. All right. I'm not gonna say anything about the alt middle. I'll leave it like that. No, they get real sensitive when I talk about them, so I will not. I'm looking for that article you talked about, man. Send me a link, somebody. I want to check it out. I have not seen that article. Sounds interesting. But let me move on. So I was talking about, let me set this topic up for you. So I watched a movie. It came out in like 2009. It's called The Lovely Bones. Anybody seen that before? Oh man, it's so emotional. It's all emotional. So it's obviously based upon a book. And it's told from the perspective of a young woman who has already died. And her spirit comes back to help find her killer, which was one of her neighbors, who was like a creep, pedophile, perp, he abducted her and murdered her. It's just so emotional. Marky Mark in the Funky Bunch, Wahlberg plays her father. I thought he played a good well. He's just so desperate, right? He's looking for his daughter. Every time there's a clue or anything. And the whole time she was like in the neighborhood, like buried somewhere. Just terrible, 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 terrible. And it is based upon a book that was written by a white female. And this white female writer, her name is Alice Sebold. Her name is Alice Sebold. Let me see if I can find an image of Alice Sebold for you, because help with the conversation a little bit this morning. I'm nominating her for a Humans Worse Than COVID award this morning. Let me see if I can get Alice Sebold for you. Yes, Alice Sebold. She's a very talented woman. Very talented. And she recently issued, it was public, a public apology, but it was to one man in particular. So let me see if I can get Alice Sebold up for you. Hold on one second. I like to do these things in real time. Just what I like to do. Hold on one second. So let me put the image up. This is Alice Sebold, and I'm going somewhere with this. Trust me, family, because I want you to check this out. So she is the author of a book titled The Lovely Bones, which is worth your time. It is emotional, boy. Woo! It's going to grab you, especially if you got kids. It's going to grab you. You're going to be very emotional. You'll be in your feelings about it. I was definitely in my feelings about it. Definitely. I think it's still up on Netflix, as a matter of fact, if you want to check it out. It is definitely worth your time. Now, this is Alice. Thank you so much, Crystal. That's Alice Sebold, everybody. She is an author. She is the author of The Lovely Bones. That's the movie that was adapted in the book that was adapted into a movie that I was just speaking of. And again, I'll say for the fourth time, it is worth your time. It is worth your time. She's also the author of other books as well. She's the author of a book titled Lucky, and Lucky is her memoir, right? She's best known for Lovely Bones, right? Because that made her money. But Lucky is her memoir. And in the book Lucky, she talks about a situation in which she was sexually assaulted. She said that she was viciously and violently raped. I believe it was outdoors in Syracuse. And she said that she was assaulted while she was walking home through a tunnel to the amphitheater near the campus. She says she reported the crime to campus security and the police, who took her statement but could not identify any suspects. This is all true, what I'm telling you. These are facts, not opinions, right? So that's the facts. Allegedly, this happened on May 8th of 1981 when she was a freshman at Syracuse University. Okay, that woman right there that you can see. And as the story goes, and this is a true story, 5 months later, she's walking down the street and near Syracuse campus, and she encountered a man who she believed to be the rapist. A man named Anthony Broadwater. Anthony Broadwater. A man, this is the man right there. That's Anthony Broadwater with his family on the right and his lawyer on the left. And I mean, listen, if you do the crime, you should do the time. I don't give a damn what your race, color, gender, or if we cool or not. If you do the crime, you do the time, period. And Mr. Broadwater went to jail for 15 years. As I understand it, the only evidence that they had was her testimony. Now imagine this for a second. She's raped. 5 months later, she's walking down the street near Syracuse University. She sees a man and says to herself, "That's the man that raped me." She probably called police, called campus police. The man was detained, arrested, charged, and convicted. He spent 16 years in prison. The whole time he maintained his innocence. While incarcerated, he was denied parole 5 times. He was denied parole 5 times. He was released in 1999, but remained on New York's sex offender registry, which is probably not a place that you want to be on. You might want to be on a lot of lists, but you don't want to be on that list. The sex offender registry, you don't want to be on that list. Well, here's where it gets interesting why I nominate her for Human Worst in COVID Award this week is because Mr. Broadwater was exonerated. He was totally exonerated. Apparently, there was an executive of a film producer out of Hollywood. You ain't gonna believe this. This is just unbelievable, right? This shit is unfucking believable. This man is minding his own black business. Gets fingered by this woman who happens to be white, and you know how this is. Going back to 1981, things was different then, right? No evidence other than her testimony. He goes to jail for 16 years. And this week, she apologized. She put out a public statement saying, you know what? I was wrong. Sorry. Oops, my bad. Something like that. Can you imagine this shit? And this brother is just, look at his face right there. He is looking up to God. He is just so happy to be free that he ain't got no space in his heart for hate. So let me hate for you, brother. Fuck that woman. She's a human worse than COVID. COVID would never have done that to that man, ever. Because that's not what COVID does. That's what humans do. Ratchet ass motherfucker. Excuse my language. You want to talk about ratchet? Y'all got ratchet wrong. That's ratchet. What she did to this man is ratchet. Now, you might be saying, well, Nate, maybe it was a mistake. Maybe he looks like the man who raped her. Well, maybe, and maybe not. Maybe she was just all in her feelings and wanted to finger anybody who even any way resembled that man. But how you get that wrong? I think she should go to jail personally. See, that's when people make these kind of oops, my bad mistakes and you cost somebody else 16 years of your life, then you should give us 16 years of your life. That's what the hell we need to do. And all these kind of like bearing false witness and prosecutors not revealing all the information. People go to jail, police lying in the courtroom. People go to jail 20 years later. Oops, my bad. When people start, like, if they took her ass right now, and how can you do this? She can just say, oops, my bad, it was a mistake. So no, legally, this is not going to happen. I'm just saying, in a perfect world, in a just world, her ass will be going to jail for the next 16 years. That's where she needs to go. And people, other Americans will get the message like, oops, before I go that far with somebody and bear false witness, I'm going to make sure I know who I'm talking. That's what will happen. People will make sure they know. I want to nominate Alice Sebold for a Human Worst in COVID Award, please. The hell? I saw the brother in a couple of interviews, man. He's like a lot of brothers in that situation. Like I said, he's so grateful. He's too grateful to hate. So I'm going to hate for you, brother. I hope she burn in hell when she died for what she did to that man. Period. Talking about some mistakes. It's amazing how some people can make all the mistakes in the world. I thought it was you that raped me. Go to jail for 16 years. I thought it was a taser. Killed a man. The fuck? What in the world? I'm telling you, man, I'm with you, TC. That got my blood boiling this morning. You can tell because I'm cursing. I apologize. I know it might be some bad kids that's watching the show this morning because it's 8:54 a.m. and your bad ass should be in school right now. So if you're listening to me, curse words is the least of your problems. It's the least of your problems. This man went to jail for 16 years. And what happens is he's robbed from all of his relationships with his family. His whole life robbed, taken from him because she made a mistake. I don't even know if she was really raped or not. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. Maybe she was, and she honestly thought it was him. But I'm like, how do you not know? How do you not know? And you telling me you dude out here raping people and then walking through the campus, broad daylight? That seems highly unlikely, but you know, that birth of a nation. Any black man, he get a chance to be with a white woman against her will, gotta jump on that. Huh? Clay Kane? Okay, I like Clay Kane. I see you. I haven't tapped into Clay Kane, but I like Clay Kane. I like his style. I like him. He's my kind of talk show host. I like him. Like him a lot. Sean writes, this woman should be given a life sentence for lying on this innocent brother in a perfect world, but it's not going to happen because people make mistakes. And maybe she honestly, her defense could always be, I honestly thought it was him. Oops, my bad. Talking about some oops, you cost this man 16 years of his life. Meanwhile, you being embraced by Hollywood, got whole movies. Again, Lovely Bones, never read the book, but the movie, the adaptation from the book, super worth your time. Like I said, you're going to get emotional. It's very emotional. You're going to be, tears going to be dropping. I teared up, man. I was like, that was my daughter. I'll be in tears for mine. It's worth your time, but she got paid living her whole Hollywood life. Some news reporters caught up with her in the last few days, and she was walking her dog all bundled up somewhere in New York. No, in San Francisco. So if she's living in San Francisco, she got money because San Francisco is high as hell. Cost of living is through the roof. It's astronomical. So she just naturally, not naturally, but she's just casually walking her dog all bundled up in a ritzy neighborhood in San Francisco. That means she's got some money somewhere, living her best life. And she wouldn't even respond to reporters. And then a couple of days later, she put out a statement saying, I apologize. So I'll give her at least that. At least she did apologize, because you got a lot of mofos out here, man. They'll do you dirty. They'll do you, to steal a phrase from Fame, slick and greasy, and won't apologize at all. They'll look at you like. So at least she apologized. I'll give her that. I will give her that. Humans worse than COVID this morning. So we're talking about Jussie Smollett, top of the list, or near the top of the list. Because this woman, man, this Alice Sebold, she needs to be at the top of the list, quite honestly. Because Jussie, that's a self-inflicted wound. What she did is she robbed this man and his family. He got a mama. He got brothers and sisters and people that love him. But they don't matter, though, right? None of that matters because of justice. We have got to find justice, right? Get the fuck out of here. Get the hell out of here. Humans worse than COVID. Humans worse than COVID. I wish this brother the best, man. I hope they should have a big bag of money for him in I guess, Syracuse, that's New York. In the New York state of New York, they should have a big old bag of money for him so he can live his best life, because you stole his best life. So you have to give him a better life now. And in America, that means M-O-N-E-Y, money. That's what it means. So he can go live where he want to live and eat what he want to eat and dress the way he want to dress and drive what he want to drive and go on vacation when he get ready to. That's what he deserves right now after being a prisoner of the state for 16 damn years. Like, how many more? Does the system ever get it right? Does the system get it right more than it gets it wrong? It seems like it's so easy to rig the American judicial system, especially when race comes into it. It seems like it's just so easy. And maybe it's less easy now than it was back in the 80s. In the 80s, it was like the damn 60s, only with 20 more years. That's it. It was wilding out in these courtrooms in the 80s. You know, stories like this of the unjust incarceration of black people are the reasons why people celebrated O.J. Simpson. Black people knew that O.J. Simpson killed them folks. They knew it. They knew it. Y'all knew it, but you didn't care, and you don't care now because of the dozens, hundreds, and thousands, and tens of thousands of cases like this when people get railroaded for things they didn't do. So when you get a brother who's got the money to fight for himself, even though he may have done it, that's why people celebrate it. That's why people celebrate it. America got exactly what she deserved in that. In that OJ case, she got exactly what he deserved. You beat the fuck out of Rodney King. Everybody gets off. So when OJ got off, people was like, man, still ain't fair, right? Skill still ain't balanced. Hey, listen, do the world and the internet and Facebook a favor. Please like and in particular share today's show so people can see and be baptized by this flow. Because this is something different. You know what I'm saying? This is something different. We have here is completely different than anybody anywhere else. That's right, James. I said OJ. O.J. Simpson. He killed them folks and got off. And the majority of Black America feels it. You know deep down inside he did them crimes, but you don't care. And you don't care because of situations just like this. Look at this brother right here, man. Who knows? This man could have cured cancer. We don't know what his contributions to our community and our society could have been. And we'll never know because of this woman. Now, I want to vilify her. And I have taken several steps to vilify her this morning. And I fully admit that. Is that fair? No, it is not. I must admit that. I don't know all the details. I have never been sexually assaulted. I don't know what that's like. It's traumatizing. I'm sure it'll change who you are. I'm sure. Her sexual assault, was it so traumatizing that she was in such a vulnerable state that she was just trying to just find any peace? And she saw this man and she thought, that's him. Maybe there were some similarities in their bodies, physiques, face, voice. I don't know. Right. You know, thinking good thoughts about people, then I want to believe that it was an honest mistake and she was just trying to end her pain and her suffering. And if you get assaulted like that, I would imagine that until the person who assaulted you comes to justice, that you're never going to feel comfortable. How could you ever feel comfortable ever again if you're just walking on campus and somebody grabs you and rapes you? How could you ever feel comfortable? You ain't going to never feel comfortable. You ain't going to never sleep right. You ain't going to never feel comfortable. It's going to change who you were going to be. It's going to change your trajectory in terms of the way your brain works, the way you process things, the way you look at the world, the way you look at yourself. That's why I think anybody committing those kind of crimes, G.O.D., whatever happens to you, happens to you. That's why, you know, because it's such a heinous crime. So I have sympathy for her. I do. But I got sympathy for that Black man too. Because just because somebody else sexually assaulted you, ma'am, doesn't mean he had to pay for it with his life. It don't mean that. What she did to him was every bit as worse as what was done to her. Intent versus impact. That may not have been her intent, but that's the impact. What she need to do is come up off of some of that Lovely Bones money. She need to pay him off. That's right. I say to pay him off. Now, of course, there is no dollar amount that could ever, compensate him for the loss of 16 years. And on top of it, he was incarcerated with animals, locked down. Who knows what he had to deal with and endure to make it through those years. There's no dollar amount, but she should try. And it should have at least at least 5 zeros. 6 digits, at least. 100 grand. 100 grand. Let's start right there. At least. So this man can get acclimated back into modern day society. You've been locked down for 16 years. And again, he's been out for some time now, right? But you lose 16 years of your life. You're trying to get reacclimated. You got to have a place to live. You got to have some clothes. You know what I'm saying? You want to look good. You want to get you some cologne. You know what I'm saying? Get you a bottle of Savage or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Get you some of that, if she really pay you off, get you some of that Creed Aventus. Pricey. Smells incredible. Pricey though. You get you some Creed Aventus. You want to smell good. You've been around these stinking ass Negroes in here, locked up for years and years. Now you want to feel good about yourself. You want to enjoy yourself. You want to go to the game. Brother might want to go to the Knicks game or something. He should be able to sit there courtside, and she should pay for it. That's just me. Stop me before I keep going. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What's up, Mr. I?
What is that?
What's up, Mr. Ivy?
Good morning,
What
sir.
up, bro?
Good morning, Drop.
How you doing?
I'm excellent, brother. Welcome.
Man, I'm loving your flows. I'm loving your passion. I agree with you 100% on everything you just said about this case of this brother that was wrongfully accused. Now, Mr. Ivey, you got at your fingertips your computer, and there are some states, Mr. Ivey, I don't know if New York is one of those states where prisoners who are wrongfully accused and incarcerated cannot sue the state. So hopefully this brother can sue the state as well as, like you said, file a lawsuit against this woman for wrongfully accusing him and stripping him of 15 years of his life. So, Mr. Ivey, shall we proceed with our weekly segment?
Do we have to?
It's your show. I just got to get approval from you. I mean, you can end it at any time.
Whatever you want to bring to the show, I'm here for it. Absolutely.
Okay, all right. But before I read the average of polls, I just want to read this headline. I'm not even going to say the website because that'll just distract people.
Fox News.
But the headline is, see, there you go, Mr. Ivey.
InfoWars.
Did I say, I said
Blaze
I will
TV.
not read.
The Daily Caller. I mean, it's going to be one of those conservative websites. Washington Post.
Why you hating on your media colleagues like that?
I'm not.
I thought y'all
I know who they
together.
are. No, it's not that I'm hating.
Okay.
I just know who they are. And I know they have a bias, and I know you like to consume what they produce.
Okay, and you also know the reason that I do read from some of those sites that you mentioned is because the mainstream media, the willing accomplices of the desperate Democrats, will not cover certain stories with the same zeal and enthusiasm that they do
with
other
the same
stories.
Slant and bias. You're right. They won't cover it with the same slant and bias.
Oh, Mr. Ivey, you are on it today. But I shall proceed. Headline: No let up in Biden polling doldrums. The president stands at 43% approval and 51% disapproval in a NPR Marist National Survey released on Thursday. A day earlier, a national poll from Monmouth University indicated a 40% approval and a 50% disapproval. Both surveys were conducted in recent days. The average on Real Clear Politics, average of polls, President Biden's approval rating is 42.3%. His approval on handling the economy, 38.7%. His approval on handling immigration, 31.3%. His approval on handling foreign policy, 38%. His approval on handling COVID-19, 47.3%. And the final one, 61.1% of the American people feel that the country under the leadership of Joseph R. Biden and the desperate Democrats is headed in the wrong direction. So that's, Mr. Ivey, that's it. Things aren't getting any better. I don't know what Joe Biden can do. I don't know what the Democrats can do, because even if, well, not if, but when they pass the Build Back Better through reconciliation, which means they only need 50 votes, which means that the package will probably be less than $1 trillion, but it will be passed. And that's going to only piss off the squad and the progressive wing of the Democrat Party. So going into the midterms, the party is going to stay divided. The people who voted for the Democrats and Joe Biden are going to remain disgruntled. And from the words of Fame Rothstein, shout out to the Betting Public Sports Show and shout out to the alt middle, the voters who voted for Joe Biden and the Democrats right now and probably going into next year are disgusted. And that's all I got, Mr. Ivey, on this fabulous Friday. I ain't got no job. Oh, that's right. I'm retired. Choppers, y'all be safe in them streets. And I'm out.
Appreciate the call. Go ahead and rack him nonetheless, even though he's on that same old ish. But it is what it is. Do Drip have a woman? Do Drip have a woman? Well, I don't know. I would assume he does. You know what I'm saying? He got it going on. He retired. He's got marijuana being sent to his house legally in California. You know what I'm saying? He's got the internet. So, you know what I'm saying? He works out. So I'm sure he does. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Do drip to have a morning. That's hilarious.
Good morning, Nate. This is Daryl. How you doing from
Hey,
Atlanta?
what's up, brother Daryl?
What's going on, man? Man, okay. I'm just, you know what? I'm just gonna kick off some bullet points just to refute everything Drop said and his total deflection of his favorite father, Trump. So, number one, did you read this week where the unemployment claims this week were the lowest since 1969?
I did not.
That's that's 52 years, bruh. Yeah, it's out there in the news. But Drop didn't. He conveniently left that off. He didn't want to talk about that. Oh, guess what? Trump tried to throw out. You know, he's trying to the federal appeals court threw out his request or decided against him to withhold documents from the January 6th committee.
Right.
Did Drop talk about that?
Absolutely not.
No, he didn't. No, you're right. Oh, I got another one. Letitia James. Now, you know, State's Attorney General of New York is not going to depose Mr. Trump if they don't have strong evidence to do so. Did Drop mention that?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So, you know, Drop keeps going on and on and on about the polls, and then he gives us his weekly update. Drop, let me clue you in, because I was a math major in college. You do not, listen when I say this, you do not read statistics day to day or even week to week like that, the average of polls, because he thinks he's making a good point, but you don't. All polls are a snapshot in time. Depending on how the questions are asked in a poll, the data can be manipulated to say what you wanted to say and create a narrative totally opposite of what the data really indicates. So, Drop, go school yourself before you make yourself look like an idiot talking about something you don't even know. I mean, it's getting old, because I'm calling in. The polls have, the average of polls in Real Clear Politics has Joe Biden at 40-something%. But as I recall, didn't the polls have Trump in the 30s? So he's still beating your boy. Nate, that's all I got, man. I just had to refute. I had to refute the gaslighting. Take care, brother.
Appreciate the call. That's Daryl from Atlanta. Appreciate the call. Little local news here. I'm not sure what just came out of my mouth, but a little local news. An update to Cincinnati's agreement with UC Police was finalized this week, but the city manager backtracked soon after, saying in a statement that the process didn't meet the city's standard for community engagement. You know, after the death of Sam DuBose, a lot of people in the community here in the city do not feel comfortable with UC Police patrolling outside of UC property. And that's what, if you don't remember, we got a call from Sister Iris, I believe it was yesterday, when she kind of broke this all down for us. This is what she was talking about, because it was put out there in Law and Public Safety that the city was moving forward with a brand new updated MOU with the city with University of Cincinnati that would allow University of Cincinnati police officers to perhaps, at least at that point, there was a lot of questions about what they were going to be able to do. Now, if you remember, it was UC police officer Ray Tensing who pulled over a pedestrian away from UC's campus for a busted taillight or something like that, or not having a license plate properly displayed or something. And during that traffic stop, he ended up shooting and killing Sam DuBose, shot the man in the head. Sam DuBose was afraid. When are we going to legitimize being legitimately afraid of police interactions? When we need to have some kind of consideration in that. You know, it seems like the legal system still has yet to and fails to acknowledge that there are people out here, and a lot of them are melanated people, who have every right to be afraid of police based upon things they see in the media, things they heard anecdotally from friends and family members and colleagues, right? And things that they've experienced themselves. So it's just so funny. Like, I'll never forget this, and I keep talking about it because it just makes so many points. I remember Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieters, he weighed in and gave his opinion on a case in which a white man had struck a young boy over in Avondale. Apparently on this particular street, it was an issue with people just driving too fast through that neighborhood. He hit this boy, and then some of the brothers, I think they dragged him out the car and whooped his ass. I think that's what happened. And I remember Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieters saying, well, hell, if that was me, I would have kept on driving, because in some neighborhoods, what he was saying is in some neighborhoods, you don't want to stop. And I'm like, wait a minute, isn't that a crime? Can you do that? I know if you get into an automobile accident, you're not supposed to leave the scene. But if you hit somebody, you can just leave the scene and drive to where you're safe and then make phone calls. You can do that. Well, if it's okay for somebody to do that in that circumstance, vis-a-vis the words of the Hamilton County prosecutors, then why ain't melanated people given some kind of special consideration for our righteous fear of dealing with Conan barbaric cops? Not all cops, just the Conan barbaric ones. Not all police, just the racist ones, just the race soldiers, just those. You know, the ones that will try to use the traffic stop to deal with the fact they got a small penis, or there was a nobody in high school and used to get picked on, so now I got a badge, I'm in charge. You know, those officers. Don't act like they ain't out there. That's the other thing. Stop acting like those type of officers don't exist. We know they exist because their ass keep coming up in the headlines. So nobody wants to see the UC police doing anything out of UC's campus. Keep it on the Bearcats, brother. Keep it on the Bearcats, sis. That's it. We don't want you doing nothing else. And Ray Tensing had a history of harassing black motorists. About a couple months before that, he stopped a couple of brothers. They videotaped the whole thing. It was all on YouTube. I don't know why that wasn't admissible in in a trial. Just weak prosecutors. Weak prosecutors. That's all it was. I'm telling you, the media still don't talk enough. Oh, you love the smile? The media is from the wifey. Send her a picture. She said, I love the smile. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. She feeling me right now. She feeling me. I could tell she feeling me. She doing all kind of little things. I'm like, okay, sis feeling you. Okay. 20 years, you still feeling me? All right, cool. I'll take it. But there was credible evidence that hold on a second. Okay. There was credible evidence that Ray Tensing was Conan barbaric. He had a history of stopping black motorists and flexing. I'm a flex. I'm like, real power don't have to power trip. When you comfortable with yourself, even if you got the power to do a certain thing, you don't got to do that. You might be able to do a lot of things. Don't mean you should. It don't mean you should. You might have the ability to make a lot of moves. Don't mean you should. Some moves you shouldn't make. Some things you shouldn't do, especially if you're in a position of authority. I am the law. You will respect my authority. Is that Cartman? You ain't hip to Cartman? You should be. You should be. I'm having too much fun this morning. So that's what happened. So then people in the community, Iris Rowley and others, they let their voice be heard. And, you know, when I look at Iris, I give her a lot of props, but I study what she does. I study what people do. And I'm like, oh, this is how you make moves when you're trying to do something, when you're trying to change something. They're giving you the template. Smart people pick up the template and learn from it. Dumb people act like they don't see a template. Oh, it ain't nothing. Yeah, okay. So now the city manager, she's backtracking, saying, you know what? We need more community engagement. Like, how dare the University of Cincinnati, I don't care who it was, and the city of Cincinnati decided they just going to start this new relationship. And you ain't even talked to the community. You ain't talked to us after what happened with Ray Tensing. It's another slap in the damn face. Don't make no moves without talking with the community, bro. Talk with the community. It's critical. So people know what's going on and we know what to expect. And, you know what I'm saying? The new MOU keeps a prohibition on traffic and pedestrian stops and says a UC officer can only take action off campus if they observe certain crimes or in an emergency. UC officers should take care of UC. It's a big enough campus. You got multiple campuses. Hell, that central campus is big enough, especially with all the buildings away from the main campus. You got students living all over in the general area. Go protect them. We don't need you pulling old pedestrians over, or maybe we do. It's a mixed bag because it's a mixed bag. It really is, because the driving experience around University of Cincinnati is probably the worst in the city. Driving around Coreyville is probably the worst place in the city to drive around in, because there's absolutely no presence of police anywhere. You don't never, when's the last time you seen a police officer pull somebody over in Coreyville? I don't never see it. But yet I see people going through lights, turn the wrong way, parked in the middle of the intersection. I see all kinds of traffic laws being violated, and there's no police anywhere. Anywhere. It's like being in like a big ass room with nothing in it. You can just talk as much as you want to, and there's no response. People can break any traffic law they want to near the University of Cincinnati, and there's no response whatsoever. None. And maybe that's because UC police aren't patrolling anymore. I don't know, but it's the worst driving experience in the entire city. Anywhere around Coreyville, anywhere around there, it is the worst. Tell me what's the worst driving experience in Cincinnati. Tell me what's the worst driving, an area that has worse consistent drivers, bad drivers, tinted windows. I thought that was illegal. Doing whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it. Chief of Police and Public Safety Director James Whalen will be on Freedom Friday today at 4 p.m. to break it all down. I just love what Sister Iris is doing. She's doing exactly what I already said people should do. Start your own media. Why can't you? You can. People do it every day. Start your own. And so you can check out, I'm going to tap into that and check out what she's doing there. And then she's allowed me to share some of that with us here as well, because we all in the same boat. We all doing the same thing. So I appreciate that. Very interesting conversation. I don't even go to Coreyville. For what? That's TC. That's right. I mean, there's no reason for you to. Shannon's in the house. She writes all of it. Hey, Shannon, what's up? Maurice writes downtown. I don't think that downtown is his word. Hold on, I'm getting a call from my daughter's school.
Hello, this is an important message from Cincinnati Public Schools. To hear the message now, press 1.
Let's see what this all's about.
To place this call on hold, press the pound key.
Walnut Hills parents and guardians. Walnut Hills High School participated in an Alice drill today during second bell. This was only a drill. Thank you, Walnut Hills High School administration.
Okay, they had a drill today. Okay. TNT writes tardy. Yeah, when my daughter is late to a class, we get a message. And I'll be looking at her like, had a good day, huh? Where the fuck was you in the fifth bell? I don't scream at her like that, but that's what I'm thinking inside. Let's go straight to the phone, shall we? Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan.
Hey, good morning, Maze.
I hope Josh's not looking at your expression when I'm talking, since he has a problem with when I'm giving my opinion, which he has a problem with comprehension. So I have one for him today. Will you stop giving us secondhand news, what we already heard, with those numbers that you're spouting out with, and who cares? And then again, with the conversation I was having yesterday, when I was saying my friend, she's only 43. Her grandmother is 90. So that's how I know what I know. And whatever my age has to do nothing with the conversation. And why don't he use what's behind his eyes, which is his brain, and use it, and maybe he can make some of himself. And he always screaming about his GED, that he only got a GED. He say he's 60. He can go to school for free, just pay for his books. And then he can put something behind his ass, which is his brain, and use it, and stop trying to give us secondhand news that he's got from someone else, like we didn't hear it just like he did. But he can't even comprehend the numbers that he's spouting out. And like I said before, who cares? But comprehend when you hear me say something. So he filed yesterday. So I think I'll go to the free shot, do a free shot on him. Not get a 3-pointer because he made a foul. So tell him next time, use what he got behind his ass. And stop trying to give us that secondhand news that he get from his party. And have a good one.
You too. Have a good
day.
Drop. I just love when she says drop. Drop. Drop was mad at me. He was like, you just let May say whatever she want to say. I guess I do. I guess you're right about that. I do. I love that she keeps the heat on you, Drop. I like that. Grass and Rice, Maze is in a maze. You so disrespectful. You so disrespectful. Alicia writes, Drop is talk show gold. He triggers so many and keeps the conversation going. I've been saying it since day one. I love me some Drop. I also love me some Maze. Drip drop. Raindrops. Maze loves Migos. Nothing wrong with that. We'll go ahead and rack all the calls. I appreciate it, man. Ray writes, okay, so they skipped the part where he was not at the scene. Oh, okay, great police work. Miss D writes, greetings. Speaking of Miss James, she's no longer running for governor. Ray writes, Leslie Gibbs needs to be disbarred. She won't be. That ship is long sailed. I mean, the only way to hold them accountable, is when the elections come up. You know what I'm saying? If you really got a problem with Leslie Gibbs and she's running against a qualified contender, somebody you can get behind, give her challenger the vote. I wouldn't vote for Leslie Gibbs to be Leslie Gibbs in this world, let alone to play some other role. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. I bet you think I'm being too harsh. Sister V writes, Maze is amazing. I agree. Crystal writes, they probably did that in case folks noticed the drill and thought there was an incident. Well, there's an app called the, what's it called? The community app or something like that. But there's an app that kind of works like the Waze, rhymes with maze, but it's a W instead of an M. Waze, W-A-Z-E. It's a navigational app. I use it. It's far more better for me than using it over to Google Maps. Just you get more information. And it's user operated. So for instance, if you've got this app and you see a car that's like blocking the road, you can put that in the app. And then everybody else on the app at that particular point in the road will get the update. Oops, there's a car accident or there's a police officer or whatever, like all that kind of stuff. My watch is telling me that I'm being active because I'm moving my hands. It thinks I'm moving around, I'm walking, but I'm not. And I'm not walking. And so there's another app I think it's called the Citizen app. That's what it's called, the Citizen app. And so we have it, and people update shootings, things that are happening in schools. So what will happen is at some point today, I'm probably going to get an update from the Citizen app telling me that there was a drill at her school. It's just another way that people stay in contact and stay up to date. And it actually moves faster than the news. It moves faster than the news because people update that in real time. And if you got the app, you get the update immediately, where it may take some time for reporters to report on it. And don't think this is how the world works. You got reporters who are on the Citizen app. And so when something that's newsworthy comes along, boom, that's how they're able to move so fast. Traditional reporting cannot keep up with social media. Social media is way faster than legacy media could ever be. I've said it a billion times. That's right, Crystal, the Citizens app. That's right. Let me see here. It's better, yeah. You need it, huh? Says she needed living here. We had a chance to get rid of Leslie Gibbs with Parikh Pavin or Erica Underwood, but Dems didn't endorse them in that race and neither defeated her. Looking back, it could have been a mistake. Or maybe they didn't want to endorse anybody because you had two Democrats. Speaking of which, Parikh's name has come up to replace there's a couple things we need to talk about here locally that I've been sitting on for a little bit of time, and it's a Friday, so today's a good day to sort of put it all out there. So bear with me if this is not your cup of tea per se, but I need to say it. So somebody has to replace Abtab Pureval as the clerk of courts. And if you're the Democrats, I can only imagine that whoever that you're going to choose to replace him, you want somebody who can hold on to that seat, that can win another election. I heard Parik's name in that. And I had just seen him at Avtab Pureval's election night party. And I don't know Parik like that. He seems to have a good spirit about him. You know, some people seem to have a good spirit. He seems to have a good spirit. Doesn't mean we would probably agree on everything, but I'm just saying that's just the energy I get from him is good. And I like people with good energy. I like smart, intelligent, aggressive people with good energy. I like all of those things together in one package. But also, we have to talk about Bridget Kelly. So Bridget Kelly is going to be leaving, and there's 3 names that are on the radar screen right now that the Democrats or let's just say there's some Democrats that are supporting some and some others. That's State Rep Bridget Kelly, by the way. And she's going to be leaving. And there's a few people who are running in that position. And I do have some associations with a few of them. I know of them a little bit. One is a woman from Oakley named Colleen Reynolds. I don't know her like that, but I do know her. We are friendly when we see one another. The other is Gabby Beckstrom. Remember Gabby Beckstrom? He ran for mayor, right? Came on the show. He was part of the whole primary. He was on the NAACP. He did not win. Of course, we all know that Avtab and David Mann went forward. But looks like he's going to be running as well. And he's an entrepreneur and things like that. Then also a man named Dunny Isaacson. If you don't know Dunny Isaacson, he is the creator of Cohere. And he's been on the show a couple times. I do know Dunny. I like Dunny. And it'll be interesting to see how all of this plays out. It would be really interesting because that's a very, very interesting position, being a Democrat in the state house, right? So the question for Democrats is, how can you be effective when you're dealing with a supermajority of Republicans, right? So what are the characteristics? What is the approach? What's the style that we need, right, in a Democrat state rep in order for that state rep to be effective, right? Because it's going to be a little complicated. You know, you in the minority, you're in the vast minority party going to the state house dominated by Republicans, and they do whatever they want to do when they get ready to do it. How can you be successful in that environment? That's the way we should be looking at that particular race. Okay. That's how we should be looking at that. Is that the 26th Ohio district? Is that what that is? If I'm wrong about that, set me straight. If you're wrong about that, set me straight. Apparently, there's going to be a big announcement as I'm reading the Cincinnati Enquirer article on the 15th from Dunny Isaacson. And perhaps other people already put their name in. So we shall see. We shall see. I'm not sure if any of them grew up in that particular district, but it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. People making moves. So a little bit of local news that you may be able to use or not use. Nakia writes, I like Gabby style. Krista writes, I think we could benefit from understanding what they are doing, who is on the committee, and why they created it. Krista writes, Nate, can you get Greg Landsman on to discuss the Children and Families Committee? Yeah, I'm sure I can reach out to Greg and see if he's available. He's also going to be the chair of the budget, finance, all the money. Where the money reside, right? Greg Landsman he'll know where the money resides. That's everything. It's all about money. You know, it's all about the prioritization of our tax dollars and the money that's coming into the city. That's what it's all about. Sister Iris writes, and they endorsed in the last judicial race. They did. She writes, happy birthday to the state rep, Cedric Denson. Absolutely. I didn't realize it was his birthday. Happy birthday, Cedric, if you're watching. Good morning to you. Where the money reside, where the money reside, where the money reside, where the money reside. TNT writes, we a negotiator who is aggressive and bold, someone who knows the importance of leveraging the power of the people by keeping us informed and engaged. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Well, for sure. For sure. I think if you're going to be effective in that position in the state of Ohio right now as a state rep, you need to approach it with a certain mentality. Like you need to know what your limitations are and what the game is, right? Because I'm sure the game is different if you're in a vast minority position, even if there was more parity, right? Which there is not in the state of Ohio in terms of political power. The Republicans run it. They run it. Senate, House, executive. It's all red. It's all red. And then it went Republican in the last two presidential election cycles. So this is a red state, number one. There might be some Democrats who are still resistant to that, but this is a red state. This is not a purple state. Damn sure ain't blue. This is a red state. And I think that when you approach it in that way, then that mentality is going to guide your steps. I think that's how I would look at it. But let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning, Nathan. It's Kev on the cell.
What up, Kev? Good morning to you, brother.
How's it going, bro? It's been a while. I apologize. I've been trying to do what I'm telling everybody else do, increase some wealth so I can leave a legacy to my little girl.
Hey, no reason to apologize for wealth building, brother. We all understand that. We get it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much going on, man. There's so much going on. But I wanted to chime in a little bit, just to kind of keep that top of mind awareness. Somebody said earlier about the stock and kind of jumping on board. That's really my shtick, right? You know what I mean? This whole financial development thing. By the way, I work for a bank, but I'm not selling nothing, so I want to put that out there up front. That's not the purpose of me making these comments. I think, but what was said was really poignant, that, the move of Hertz, the thing that might hurt Hertz, right, may lower the stock price and it might give you an opportunity to get in and to make some cash. And one of the things I wanted to share was, I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I've put my hand in entrepreneurship a few times in a few different places. And if you do work, if you're working for someone, trying to find some sort of passive income, trying to find some sort of way in order to make money while you're sleeping. That's what the rich people say. You should be making money while you sleep, right? Is important. I know this is kind of off topic, man, but we're going into the holiday season, so just wanted to bring this up. If you're buying whatever you're buying for whomever you're buying it for, right? If you're going to be buying gym shoes for your daughter or your son, or any of those other commodities out there that we purchase, for quote unquote Christmas giving, right? Or Hanukkah, wherever it is that you celebrate, or if you don't celebrate at all. Just think about all the products that you're using, all the products that you consume, and think about how those products come to market. If they come to market through an institution, through an organization, a company, right, that is traded on the New York Stock Exchange, or really any of the exchanges, there's an opportunity for you to make money off the products that you buy. And so I know that again, this is off topic, but it's never, like you said, it's never a bad time to build family wealth. You know what I mean? So if there's anything out there that you're looking at now, Warren Buffett says if you're going to engage in the market, you shouldn't buy anything you wouldn't hold for 10 years. There are some people that do crypto and things like that are saying, hey, you can trade quickly and make money. My main reason for this call is to say, if you are spending more than you're making, figure that out first. But also, if you're not making money off the things that you're buying, why not? Again, it's off topic. It's a little bit weird, Nathan. I know it. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? We got a weird world going on. Now, towards some of the things that you did talk about today, and especially to that drop guy, I'm gonna say this quickly because I don't want to take too much of your time. Donald Trump ain't never get to a 43. Never. Not in 4 years. I don't think he made it to 43%. So all of that talk, as my lady May says, drop, is garbage, bro. We're not. No one is hearing that. I don't know if you saw Biden in Kansas City the other day. Now, I'm not a Biden person, but I am for civility, man. That's what I'm for. What I saw when I watched this man give a speech was a return to civility in the highest office in the land. Some decorum. That's, we ain't asking for much, man. You ain't gotta be calling people out their name and stuff like that. And you're supposed to be the president of the United States. That doesn't make sense in my head. So again, the country's making a comeback. What part of the comeback are you playing? It is what it is. You cannot sit back and complain and cry about the fact that you ain't making no money when you ain't making no moves. So get out there, choppers. You know what I'm saying? If you gonna spend $1, make $1. That's all I'm saying. And that's all I got, Nate.
All right, brother. Have a good weekend.
Be blessed, bro. Stay safe.
Yeah, most def. Take it easy. I started watching this show. Really, the wifey was watching this show. It's called Harlem. Anybody watching this? I think it's on Amazon Prime. She just started watching it a couple of days ago. Sometimes it happens like that. The wifey be watching something, you just kind of, what's this? And it stars Megan Good, who still looks good. And it's like a black Sex in the City. Let's call it what it is. It's like a revamped Girlfriends. It's funny, it's sexy, it's adult, got language, it's got nudity, and I love adult things. You already know. It's first season, and I seen here or there about it, but I never really tapped into it. I may have watched an episode and a half, and it ain't bad. It ain't bad. I want to say that to you because it's the weekend. You might want to check something out this weekend. I haven't watched enough to give you a full review, but it ain't bad. And it's all about life and love and all the ups and downs and the unexpected turns and the hilarious scenarios that these women find themselves in. Four sisters just looking for life and love and trying to be their best black selves. And one of them is gay and she's got her exploits with women. And I've seen the formula before. After decades and decades of television, there's only so many formulas. Like Nas said, it's never what you do, but how it's done. There's nothing new under the sun. So we've seen this formula before, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I can't tell you whether it's worth your time or not now. I need to watch a couple more episodes, but so far, I could dig it. I could fall asleep to it. Right? Is it worth your time and can you fall asleep to it? I appreciate Kev. Kev, she's like, you know what? I know we ain't on topic today, but build that wealth. I'm with that. I'm with that. Krista writes, also, the state Republicans are trying to dismantle CPS's anti-racism policy and equity policy. Really? Really? TNT writes, Black Summer is fire. Black Summer. Is that the Black Summer? Is that the zombie film? Oh man, if you like zombie movies and films, you got to watch Black Summer. Everything you're looking for. And it's 2 seasons. The second season is even better than the first season. Yeah, that's what it's called, Black Summer. The second season is even better than the first season. Gladys writes, I loved it, all 10 done. Krista writes, I liked it. Okay, cool. Black Summer is fire. Okay. The wifey was like, she said something to me. It was so funny. So we watched the first episode, and there's a scene where this dude is trying to holler at Megan Good. And they do like a shot, like a body shot, like a crotch shot, and he's got like a print. The wifey turned to me and she's like, this might be a me series and not a we series. I'm like, what the hell? What you trying to say? Like she wanted to watch that by herself. I'm like, what the hell? Now, how we watch Sex in the City by ourselves together. We watch Girlfriends. I'm not saying I was super into it, but the wifey's watching it and it's got women on there and they're talking about sex. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I'll watch it too. This is sexy. My favorite of the Sex in the City had 4 white women. My favorite was the one with the dark hair. I would start there and we work our way down. I can't remember who the central title was. It was just Sarah Jessica Parker. She did a great job. Is that her name? Sarah Jessica something? Parker something? Something. She was all right, but she was never. Yeah, that's what she said to me, TNT. She was like, I think this is a me series and not a we series. I'm like, I was lightweight offended. Like, what the fuck? I mean, I had my thoughts. I'm like, what is she trying to do? What is she trying to communicate to me? Before we get out of here this morning, I need to remind you that today's show is brought to you by our friends over at Renew Community Church. They got a brand new live stream starting this Sunday. Here's the title: Positive Thinking and Affirmations Don't Work Unless ... Learn what really works to make you happy and joyful and have fun in 2022. So you can tap in at 11:45 a.m. on Facebook at Cincy Renew. That's CINCI Renew. Or on YouTube at Renew Community Church live stream. It's going to be hosted by Charlie Wimburn. So check that out. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, if you're around on Sunday, don't forget, just tap in and see. The great thing about it is you can tap in and out just as easily. You can tap out as easily as you tap in, but tap in and check it out and see if there's something that you can't get that'll be beneficial for you. And then hit me with direct message and let me know all about it. All right. I appreciate you in advance. All right. Let me go back to the Chop Shop. I'm asking for policies that specifically address Black people, the Voting Act. Absolutely. Always. She's a local gal, SJP. Is she? She's from Cincinnati. Is that right? Maybe I remembered that. Maybe I knew that and forgot it. This weekend, your Cincinnati Bengals have a home game, and it looks like you might have some good weather. So this might be, I'm telling you, one of the funnest things in the world. Huh, is that right? Is that right? I didn't know that. Damn, you just dropped some knowledge on me, really. I did not know that. I did not know that. That is very, very interesting. You learn something new every day. Appreciate that. So I know who's who and what's what. Very interesting. Yeah, he was weak at that. Yeah, this is a me series, not a we series. And I get it. There's some things that I watched that she don't, but I wouldn't exclude her. I was a little offended by her comment. I'm like, she want me to leave? What's she trying to say? She's like, nah, I just will watch it later. I'm like, what you hiding? Interesting. I have to analyze that more later. Then you want to send me message, I love your smile. But you want to watch your series by yourself. I'm watching you, sis. I'm watching you. Crystal writes, I'm off until the new year. Maybe I'll check it off. Damn, you got all this time off? It is about that time. My daughter told me that tomorrow or today is the last day of instruction. Like next week, they've got like some stuff to do, but it's not like instruction time. And she don't even have a whole week is what she's telling me. We'll find out. Damn, this damn year has begun so fucking fast. It really has. I mean, we got to do our end of the year reviews. Who is the human worse than COVID of the whole year? Looking back at all of the ups and downs and twists and turns that was the calendar year 2021. I'll be doing that for the last few weeks because you can't do all of that in just one show. You can't do all of that. You can just do one show that's just like Black folks, politics, local, digital, TV. I mean, it's just so many ways to address it. So I love this time of year. TNT writes, why did they find Jussie Smollett guilty? Didn't they see that one? I'm not sure. I'm not getting it. I'm not understanding. Let me see here. Is that right? We weren't feeding the relationship. Okay, I get it. Well, looking at my time here, it's about that time to make a move this morning. There's a couple things I want to just look at before we roll out of here, though. Just real quick. Is that right? Interesting. Listen, folks, have an excellent weekend. I plan to be back with you and hopefully better than ever, bright and early on Monday. But you never know. I mean, we might do a live stream this show might do a live stream. Now, in terms of live streams on Sunday at 10 a.m., you got Straight Talk Live. Edna always has a good guest lined up. So if you're up on the Sunday morning and looking for some interesting conversation in the morning, tap in to Straight Talk Live right here on Facebook. Then, of course, you got the lovely ladies of Melanin Insights podcast. That's Sunday at 5:30 p.m. They have some family things that were happening that took them away from the last show. But they plan to be back. They plan to be back this Sunday at 5:30. So, Nate, she doesn't want to hear your masculine comments. Me, not we. Right. That I thought about that too, because like you watching with me or watching with somebody else, they're making comments. And sometimes you want to watch your show peacefully in your own head. You don't want somebody coming in and saying, what's that? So I get it. But I'm not really that kind of TV watcher. So I don't know. But again, family, have an excellent rest of your day. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you win today in whatever you're trying to do. The next couple of hours for me, the next 90 minutes is a workout. I'm going to hit the streets. About 15 minutes after this show ends, I'll be in the streets, get a walk in for about a good 50 minutes, then hit the body, God's temple, all that kind of stuff. That's my normal routine. Then I'll get to everything else on a Friday. So again, have an excellent rest of your day. I'll catch up with you very, very shortly. If you want to connect with me, I'm easily accessible. All you got to do is hit me with a direct message on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. I'm highly accessible. All right. Shout out to my patrons for your support. I appreciate you. And there's just so much more we can do together with what we started. Right? Like Drop says, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I plan on finishing very strong. All right. Have an excellent day, family. I'll leave you just like that. We'll catch up real soon. Remember our motto. Let's say it together. Winners focus on winning. And losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning. And we'll talk real soon, family. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivey. And I'm out.